This is a presidential memorandum on countering domestic terrorism and organized political violence. In recent weeks, months, and years, we've seen a tremendous upsurge in some highly visible, but also other acts of domestic terrorism and organized political violence being perpetrated by radical, politically motivated groups all over the country. What this presidential memorandum will do is set off an administration-wide response to that, ranging from the Joint Terrorism Task Forces to other components of the Department of Justice, to the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Treasury. We're looking at interdicting these groups, preventing them from performing acts of violence, and also looking at sources of organization and funding and support that prop them up and allow them to do the acts that they have been doing.
You know, the federal government is finally striking back against the professional funders of chaos and the radical groups destroying our streets.
We're looking at the funders of a lot of these groups, and you know, when you see the signs, and they're all beautiful signs made professionally, these aren't your protesters that make the sign in their basement late in the evening because they really believe it. These are anarchists and agitators, professional anarchists and agitators, and they get hired by wealthy people, some of whom I know, I guess, you know, probably know them. And you wouldn't know it. You're at dinner with them, everything's nice, and then you find out that they funded millions of dollars to these lunatics. Steve, could you say a couple of words?
Yes, Mr. President. This is a very historic and significant day. This is the first time in American history that there is an all-of-government effort to dismantle left-wing terrorism, to dismantle Antifa, to dismantle the organizations that have been carrying out these acts of political violence and terrorism. What we've seen, if you look at whether it be going back to the riots that started with Black Lives Matter and all the way through to the Antifa riots, the attacks on ICE officers, the doxing campaigns, and now the political assassinations. These are not lone, isolated events. This is part of an organized campaign of radical left terrorism. It is structured, it is sophisticated, it is well-funded, it is well-planned. There is really no parallel like this to anything else in the country right now. There is an entire system of feeder organizations that provide money, resources, weapons, and when they're attacking ICE officers, they're attacking federal buildings, or they're isolating public officials for harassment, doxing, intimidation, and ultimately attempted assassination. It is all carefully planned, executed, and thought through. It is terrorism on our soil. Because of this executive order, Cash and Pam are going to have the tools they need, working with Scott, to take these organizations apart piece by piece. And the central hub of that effort is going to be the Joint Terrorism Task Force, or JTTF, which sits inside the Federal Bureau of Investigation. But for those at home who are worried about terrorism in this country, they need to understand, because of President Trump's strength, because of his vision, because of his leadership, we are now going to use the entire force of the federal government to uproot these organizations root and branch. And again, that's only possible because of President Trump and his leadership.
Thank you.
You know, guys, this isn't just about protests. It's about the organized dismantling of our border and our laws by a radical left that thrives on fraud. While the Democrats allow our country to be flooded with illegal immigrants, they are simultaneously funding the very agitators who attack our officers and federal buildings. President Trump is using the full force of the law to follow the money and uproot these professional anarchists. You know, we need to find the root and branch of these agitators. You know, these funders. It is time to stop the madness, secure our borders, and hold the people funding these destructions accountable. Remember what happened to Minnesota, right? During the raid of ICE, during the operation of ICE to arrest those illegal immigrants. After that, there were chaos, and based on the investigation of the FBI, those chaos was funded by Antifa and Shalabab. It was funded by the terrorist group through the NGOs. And that's crazy. And I'm glad Trump is doing a step to stop this, because it's destroying our country. And it's crazy. And you know, it's funny that these Democrats, they can go down this low, you know? Just to grab the power, just to destroy Trump, just for them to go back in power and import another illegal immigrants to destroy our country. This is crazy. You know, I want to know your opinion on this. Please don't forget to subscribe. Please like this video. I'm out. Peace.